Hi, welcome to Classic Cars Driven. My name's Matt Nichols, and today we're driving the Saab 900 T16S. Saab 900 took over from the 99 in 1978. Essentially the same car with an extended nose to help with crash protection on the front of the car. This from a small manufacturer really unable to invest in new platforms too frequently. In the 900 they kept the same magic formula with the top of the range turbo models to give, at the time, Porsche rivaling performance in a family hatchback sized car. Itself quite incredible. They captured a market, a sort of quirky market, people who appreciated the engineering in their cars, people who wanted something a little bit different. And I have to say, of all the cars I've driven on ClassicCarsDriven.com, the Saab 900 T16S has given me the biggest grin for, let's face it these days, not a lot of bucks. This particular model is available to hire from Great Escape Classic Car Hire in the top of the Cotswolds, and it's Graham Eason, the owner's passion, and he's now got 3 900 turbos on the fleet, 2 of which are available to hire, and one hopefully we'll get a chance to look at later called the Beast, which isn't available to hire at all. A car with unknown origins who's clearly been breathed on and tuned right up to the hilt. So back to this model. This is a high pressure turbo 1989 Saab 900 T16S. It's a 3-door car in red with a 5-speed gearbox and 2-litre slant 4 twin overhead camshaft engine with the high pressure turbo attached. Now there's some lovely quirky things that you either love or dislike about Saab. One is the strange ignition key system. Ignition key sits in the floor of the car next to the handbrake. In order to start the car, it must be locked in reverse, which is when you come up to the car and first start it, is where you find the gear lever. You're unable to position it. Now, I'm not quite clear on the reasons for that, whether that's security, in terms of the fact you can't move the car, or what, or in case the handbrake fails, I have no idea, or even to prevent you having to put the handbrake on maybe in colder climes. I don't really know. It's something on the surface that would seem to be annoying, but in actual fact it becomes second nature, and what that does is it clears the dashboard of any key system. So basically the dashboard is nice and clean, and the keys don't sit there jangling away, they're positioned comfortably on the floor. The other quirky aspect of the Saab is that you get this beautiful wraparound dash and screen, the ergonomics of which have been worked on. So the idea is that everything is in the position it needs to be in for ease of access. The radio sits high in the dash so that it's easy to reach on the basis that you might be using that frequently. Clearly there's a big speedo in the middle. To the left is a rev counter, green on the lower echelons of the rev range to indicate some terms of economy, which I have to say on this car doesn't seem too bad. Driving a few hundred miles today, and basically the fuel gauge is going down at quite a gentle pace. On the right hand side is the famous turbo gauge, one that allows you to see what the turbo is doing, and as you put your foot down the revs pick up and the turbo swings round into the orange band. The other feature I really like about the car is the sills. Basically there aren't any, so when you open the door you're looking straight down at the floor, which makes entry in and out of the vehicle extremely easy. I'm surprised we haven't seen this in other cars. The doors basically close and wrap around the bottom of the shell and fit snugly. It also prevents the sort of water trap around that sill area. It's a very clever design. Like I say, it's completely unique to Saab, and but I am surprised not to have seen that elsewhere now. Well, whether you're a Saab fan or not, you can't help but respect, even in later years of the company's life, they were bucking what they were being told by the corporate GM. So they were asked to keep costs down within a certain level and limit development of the platforms they were given. In a sort of Northern European stance, they refused to do that, and they continued to engineer their cars right up to the end. And that was the case back here, back in 1989, when they were producing the 900 T16 like this. The engine sits directly above the gearbox. It's an unusual setup, which actually means the engine is reversed. All the pulleys for the alternator sit at the back of the engine bay, and the drive down to the gearbox is found at the front. What this means is that the two drive shafts are exactly the same length, and what that means is you don't get any torque steer. It's quite incredible. Accelerate hard even down an uneven surface road and the car stays nice and true. The engineering feature of this car don't end there either. At the front there are double equal length wishbones, and at the rear a really complicated setup based on a beam axle but with a Watts linkage either side and a panelled rod to hold the whole thing down. The consequence of all of that is a car that handles absolutely beautifully. So if you're in the market for an 80s hot hatch, enjoy a bit of a turbo punch, appreciate engineering and design quirks, and are happy just to step outside the norm, then I have to say, rent or buy, I have to recommend the Saab 900 T16S. It's one of the biggest surprising cars, in fact, the biggest surprising car I think I've ever driven. It is sublime. I've been Matt Nichols. This is ClassicCarsDriven.com, and today we've been driving the wonderful Saab T16S. Well, as promised, here is Great Escape's other Saab 900 D16S. This one of unknown origin, all we know is called the Beast. Escape, you certainly have got a beastly there.